Sorry, a call came in and interrupted the video. Right? But what do we have here? We have the journey and a crowded port moving towards the sun. The Seven of Roses. Seven of Roses in this deck is Seven of Cups. What's interesting for the masculine, he also had the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups in reverse. I feel like the masculine started with a good intention with the Seven of Roses on the journey, and things over the course of time went topsy-turvy. Making the wrong choices did not lead them to what it is that they thought they would have. Just didn't. They had good intentions, but along the way something went left. And this other card, the increscent moon, Six of Keys. Keys. I want to say that is, what are keys? Scrolls is swords. No, keys must be, that's cups. That's wands. That's earth. Is Three of Pentacles? This is Three of Pentacles. Look at that. Let me go back on the feminine for a second. Three of Pentacles is the building, the planning. Oh, that makes such beautiful sense. Even more so. And I didn't see it before because this is Three of Pentacles, this card. And with the Three of Pents, you have someone who is planning, steering, and praying, like overseeing. This is beautiful because what this is saying is that, to me, her mind, body, spirit are all on one page in the direction that she's going. Which is why there's no more self-deception, which is why she does her best to show up authentically and to be in her feminine power. That's gorgeous. And if you notice, every single one of you have a key. I mentioned earlier that there's Three of Swords here. The scrolls are pentacles and the keys are swords. And each one of you, the first pile has clearing the way. The second pile, the ascent, because she didn't care what she had to do to get what she wanted, which then in turn forced the feminine to look at herself and to climb higher than the situation and see things from a different perspective. She had to redirect her course. And then the masculine here has the Six of Keys, which is the crescent moon. And some water. This Six of Keys, he's in the moonlight, creating, sculpting, and look what he's doing. Look what he's working on. I seriously doubt this is a picture of the person he's with. And look how intently and detailed the masculine is looking at this. Because it's funny, I spoke also in that other reading about the mirroring energy. And so I said to you earlier that the ascent requires detailed planning. But so does this artwork, so does this crafting. Right? When you generally look at the Lover's Tarot, the masculine is looking at the feminine is looking untoward God. Right? So this masculine is looking at the feminine, but the feminine energy is looking beyond this earthly situation. This is, wow. Let me turn this a bit. Incredible. Give me 1 second. I just need to make sure. Oh, good. Oh, it's done. Good, good, good. All right, folks, you got a new video on the way to you. I said 2 o'clock. Okay, that's what, another hour and a half. It should be done. It's at 95% processing. That's great. Let's copy this. Ooh, I need to, sorry folks, give me a second. Okay, so it doesn't have that part ready. Okay, I'm back. I just want to make sure this video is loading because sometimes they get stuck and uploading can be a pain sometimes. All right, so let me just take a minute to look at these cards, but the 7 is very interesting because the masculine has 3 sevens. He has 2 7 of cups. One is upright, one is reversed, and then a 7 of pentacles looking at their harvest. And then here the divine feminine has a 7 of swords, the 7 keys for strategy and lots of spirit. Her reading too is spiritual. Huh. That's the other thing I was going to do. I was going to pull a card that explains how their base needs, which we read with the Akashic Tarot, is showing up in present day. Okay, so I'm going to use this deck. I'm going to have to read from the book on this one because these are so abstract. You know, if I said, oh, it means this, I think I'd just be making up crap, and I don't want to do that. I don't do that. So we're going to pull for the feminine first. Oops. Whoa. No. What happens if we go out? Yeah, you're going to see the pool. All right. Careful. Can I please get 1 blind spot card for the feminine? 1 blind spot card for the feminine. Thank you so much. 1 blind spot card for the feminine. Oh, 1 fell. Okay, they have number 43. Okay, if I can get 1 card for the person your person is with. Oh my gosh. Again. Oh, you got 3 cards. I guess there's a reason, so we'll take them. And then something for the masculine, please. The masculine. here, please. Something for the masculine. Okay. Oh, there it is. And he got 3 cards. All right. We're going to start with the feminine. Where's the book? Where is it? Here we go. Okay. The feminine was number 43. I don't know. There were 5. It's not a spider. I don't know if it's supporting something foundationally or if it's receptive to something. Anyway, let's see. 43. Assumptions. If you've drawn this card, you are assuming, and it just so happens that what you are assuming is incorrect, Divine Feminine. It says, we assume things about situations based on how similar they are to a model, example, or prototype we have already built in our minds. Remember, let me get this card. Remember, we talked about this, right? The self-deception. Woo-da-doo-da-doo. We can put you right there. For this reason, assuming is a form of stereotyping. The mind works rather like a computer in this way. For example, if you meet a nice person from a certain country, you'll be prone to believe that everyone from that country is nice as well. Or if you were abandoned by your father, you will be prone to assume that all men will abandon you. Interesting. Not almost want to say, I'm saying that the feminine felt abandoned by this masculine for sure. Especially when he went over to this lady here. No doubt. No damn doubt. If you have a poor self-concept, that's the other thing. They suffer from poor self-concept. And someone starts to act distant, we assume it's because they feel negatively towards us. And that's true because we are meaning-making people. Meaning-making people. So, if something doesn't make sense, we try and craft a story that makes sense to us. Right? That's what we do. And so the feminine is making some assumptions here about herself, about her connection with the masculine, on the importance of the divine feminine, on what she thinks the feminine might have over her. Oh, that card alone. Plus we got 3 for him and 3 for her. Shit, we're going to be here a while now. I need a drink. Listen, this is how my readings go. I will do what I need to do. I need a drink. I'm going to get a drink. You go get a drink too, and we'll meet back. And then you put in the comments what drink you got. I know I'm going to go get some lemonade. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Close this window now. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, Google volume 2. All right. I'm back. Got my cozy blankie, my heat blanket. Okay. It's gonna be comfortable. All right. Okay. We tend to project our own sense of reality onto other people. We also tend to assume things about other people without even talking to them to confirm whether we are right or wrong. For example, we assume that if we ask someone out on a date, they would say no, when in fact they would say yes. We assume someone is mad at us when they're really just busy. If you draw on this card, what are you assuming? What are you accepting as truth even though it's simply an assumption? You're being called to understand and ask rather than assume. You're being called to imagine that every person in your life and every situation is a fresh new experience. So, the feminine needs to work on her assumptions. You know, every time I use these cards, especially these ones, I write down the word on the bottom because I would never remember that this is assumptions, but I said something about antennae and a foundation, and so she's basing her information on the wrong foundation, on the wrong information, right? Which probably led to some of the self-deception that she was experiencing, right? Wow. Okay, masculine. We're going to do the masculine. He got numbers 18, 5, and 53. And that's interesting. She got 43, he's 53. And then this person has 39, 54, and 56. All right, let's start with number 18. Funny. When I saw this, the first thing I thought was Hanged Man, but not really. It would have to be like that, but... All right, let's find out what that card means. 18. 18 is avoidance. And so the reason why the feminine is making assumptions is because the masculine avoids. You understand? Funny enough, as I look down here, there's duplicity for this person, because don't forget, we saw this. Chaos into light, or light into chaos, right? Shadow and light. We also saw on this card, the sun and the moon. And then even over here, like a fish out of water. You understand? Wow. Okay, anyway, we'll come back to that. We're working on the masculine right now. But you see how this works. And in that reading where I was talking about triangulation, one of the reasons the masculine is with this person is because it allows him to get some kind of need met. And it allows her to feel that her need will be met, although she's realizing that's not the case because she's still very lonely. She's alone in every friggin' thing here, except this clearing of the way. But again, she assisted in clearing the way because there's something that she wanted, because she thought she can get it from him, and she's finding out that she can't. Whew. All right. Avoidance. And the other reason why the masculine went to this person here, she was easier than dealing with the feminine, only to find out in the end that she was way rougher than dealing with the feminine, only to find out in the end that the same duplicity that attracted him, like a moth to the flame burned by the fire, hey, that the same way that she didn't care what she had to mow through to get what she wanted, is the way that she is treating him now. The tables have turned. What he did to the feminine, this lady is now doing to him. Amen. Anyway, now I gotta take off my sweater because I'm hot now. This heat blanket is very effective. Okay. I need to be careful. Careful how you treat people. Careful how you edify others. She realized her needs weren't being met anymore. That he couldn't do it. That he likely could never do it. That she was always bending over backwards. She knew that she had to do that in the beginning, but she thought that if she did and gave and this and that and that and this, that there'd be a deeper and a greater appreciation, only to find out that he still had the Queen of Cups in his heart. He couldn't even contain it because that stuff eventually oozes out. I want you to understand, he's not even crafting this from a picture. This is from memories in his heart. In his heart. She can't compete with that. Anyway, let me go on. For the masculine, number 18, you pick this card because you're avoiding something that feels too difficult to face. In a way, most psychological blind spots are a form of avoidance. But if you've drawn this card, your avoidance is more direct than using a specific strategy, such as fear, to avoid something. You are doing something and potentially all kinds of different things, specifically as strategies to avoid things. Your life is in full-blown avoidance mode. I told you with the 7 of Cups in reverse, trolling all over the place. I told you, the 7 of Pentacles, looking at what's been going on, slumber, sleeping through the results of what you've been doing. Yeah, avoidance, left, right, and center. This hiding, this 4 of Wands, you're hiding under a bridge. As a matter of fact, he's all hunchback and hiding, and he is her toy. He is her pet. Coming out of the shadows when called, when allowed, when told, when summoned. Ugh. Full-blown avoidance mode, honey. Oh God, you may be using addictions to avoid facing the pain, which the thing you are addicted to is designed to cover up. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh, you may be not raising concerns or issues or giving an opinion that is more socially correct than your actual opinion as to avoid offending anyone or avoid conflicts. Did you hear that? He doesn't want conflict with his feminine, which is why he went to this, I'm just going to damn it say it's just easier, karmic, so that he can get a need met. So his unfulfilled needs can be met by her. And in order for his needs to be met by her, he had to play small. He had to shrink to get what he needed, which was a level of stability in all areas. He thought he was getting that from here, but I suspect these cards are going to show a whole different shit show. I promise you. It's coming. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. He offends the feminine with his silence, and he doesn't want to offend the karmic, so he keeps silent, or he's in agreement, or he kowtows to her. You understand? You may be living a lie, so you don't want to have to admit the truth of yourself or to others, or distracting yourself to avoid focusing on anything uncomfortable. This we know, honey. This we know. Trying to avoid this. He knows it, but he medicates, self-medicates, takes drugs, has sex, drinks, plays sports, gambles, watches endless hours of TV, whatever the hell it is, spends a lot of time at work to fill this void, which is pulsing and palpitating, and it is not going to go away. It must be addressed. This is not something that you can avoid at all. Your heart is not only in your body physically and is pumping life through you, but your heart is also in your brain because you're thinking of the matter. Must be love on the brain. Okay. Wow. Had options. Looking at all sorts of stuff. And none of it. Looking back on his choices, that's why. He thought the easier road would be easy. Make me tell you, he thought the grass was green on the other side to only find out it was brown. Brown. What else is this thing saying? It says, take a look at yourself in the situation at hand. Oh, my battery's low. Take a look at yourself in the situation at hand. What strategies are you employing specifically to avoid something? What really sets avoidance apart from other blind spots is that I just told you, you know exactly what it is that you're trying to avoid. You don't want to deal with this. You don't want to stand on your own 2 feet. So you get in a relationship with someone else that you think is easy and they're going to help provide. But now you're subservient to them. Now the options that you thought were on the table, you don't have. You don't want to face the heartache and the disappointment, the pain that you cause, but you can't avoid it forever. And this is why the feminine is making assumptions. And the karmic is duplicitous. Again, why don't we call her the teacher? I think the teacher is a nicer word. It says, whether you admit it or not, you know your blind spot is the fact that you are the problem in this scenario. You are using all kinds of avoidance strategies, thinking that if you avoid it long enough, one day you will either be able to face it, or the thing that you don't want to face will miraculously vanish and resolve without you. But the reality is it won't. It only will fester and cause more problems. I wish people would stop doing this shit. If you've drawn this card, you're only putting off pain. Amen. The time has come to stop avoiding what it is you are whatever it is you are avoiding. Admit to it, face it directly, and until the situation is consciously brought to a place of resolution. Wow. Okay, so that's avoidance. I'm going to write that down on this card. Avoidance. Wow, masculine. All right. Oops. Oh, I'm so tired of dropping everything. Get over here. Sorry, people. All right. Number 5. What is number 5? It's going to be another kick-ass word. Bulldozing. That's easy. They're bulldozing through situations because they don't want to deal with it. Oh. How many pages is this? Okay, good. Oh no. What? Okay. Phew. All right. So it says, if you draw on this card, you're bulldozing a part of yourself in this situation. Consciousness itself functions like water. If you're looking at a river from above, you can see that a large river often branches off into smaller rivers, and each time this happens, there is less water available to the main river. Due to trauma, it splits instead of a whole, and we are fragmented. So it's easier to comprehend this process of splitting or fragmentation in terms of how it affects our being by imagining that when our consciousness splits as a result of trauma, our ego splits in two, and it can do this over and over again. So if we look at this, because this was avoidance, so these two things are like completely unrelated yet related, if that makes any sense, right? And then if you look at this as a river, a main river, but it's splitting into all these different sections and all these offshoots, it's because there's all this fragmentation that is going on within the masculine in order to not deal with something. So every time something that happens that they want to avoid, they just split and they try and push past whatever it is. It says we only have one body, but we can end up with multiple selves. The best way to picture this is to imagine that inside your body you have a collection of Siamese twins. They're technically all conjoined because they all share one body, right? But each one has its own identity, its own desire, needs, personality, perspective, strengths, weakness, appearance. And some of these internal Siamese twins we like and identify with, and others we don't like and we suppress and disown. Again, I feel like this is a part B to the gift of triangulation, that reading that I just did. This is, oh my God, this is digging deeper into that situation. This is letting you know exactly what's going on there. And this is why because it talked about needs, and we all have needs. But there's parts of himself that he likes, and he shows the parts of himself that he likes to the teacher in his life. But the parts of himself that he doesn't like, the feminine can see it, which is why he avoids the feminine, because this will take work on his part. He'll have to be willing to show up fully as himself. He'll have to be willing to stop having or portraying so many layers and show up as himself. And he's not willing to do that. He's already made the assumption that this is going to be very hard work and I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to go over here and pretend. I'm going to be fake me. And so because the feminine can see the parts that he suppresses and dismisses and denies and doesn't like, he doesn't like being so exposed. Look. He doesn't like being so exposed and so vulnerable. Doesn't like it at all. That's why he hides. Doesn't want to be seen. But baby, I already said where there is smoke, there is fire. Said it already at the top of the reading, yo. Hey. So we have good reason for approving of parts of ourselves and rejecting others, but no matter how we spin it, it means that we are polarized. So watch this now. The teacher, aka karmic, aka Janine, is duplicitous and allows and provides space for the duplicity. The problem with this is she suffers the same avoidance, bulldozing mechanism that the masculine has. And this is one of the ways in which they feed and assist one another. This is how this teacher has brought lessons to the masculine. You understand that? She is at peace and at ease with his fragmentation because she herself is fragmented. Whereas the feminine doesn't want the fragmentation. And so what the feminine doesn't realize is that she's making assumptions that there's a problem with her, or was anyway. Oh, he must really love her. He really likes her, and our connection wasn't real, and da-da-da-da-da-da. That's not the case. She simply makes space for him to avoid himself, whereas you want him to face himself. Jesus! Oh my gosh. Woo! That's a word. That is a word. Let me continue. Sorry, where am I in the book? I don't even know. Okay. You have experienced this polarization anytime that you come to a place where you have to make a decision. And a part of you says yes, while the other part says no. Oh my gosh. Absolutely, hands down. This is a continuation of that other reading. You must watch it. You must watch that reading. You must. It's as if a part of us is saying no to something, is standing in front of a bulldozer being driven by our other part. And instead of creating resolution, balance, right? Instead of creating that resolution, so both parts are feeling aligned, heard, empathized with, the one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the one protesting. So let's say, for example, if your inner masculine doesn't want to do something, but your feminine does, your feminine doesn't speak to the masculine inside. It simply bulldozes it and makes it so. Another way to interpret these cards, as I just said that, is that you have temperance here. If we take it out of this reading, temperance is forgiveness. It's the alchemist. It's mixing, right? It's the combining of situations to make a new situation. So you're mixing your feminine energy with your masculine energy in order to make a new unified body, a unified way of moving, thinking, feeling, and expressing yourself, both ethereally and earthly. You understand? Just that alone. But what we're doing here is we're digging deeper into the players of this situation, in the way in which these energies, these belief systems, these wounds come out and how they show up. Lord of mercy. Wow. Okay, where was I here? I mean... And funny, the masculine has the number 53 here. We're not there yet. But it goes 53, and then to the teacher, 54 and 56. You see that? And the numbers are close to one another. I don't know what it means inside the book, but just from what I'm getting here, the numbers are close to each other because they're connected. And they're connected in there. And it's funny, he got 3 cards, she got 3 cards. Feminine only has 1. But the feminine... I would say, because the masculine had 5, 18, and 53, but the teacher has 39, 54, and 56. And these two energies more closely connect with one another because they make space for the deficiencies in each person, for the needs that the other person wants filled, which is one of the reasons why the feminine and the masculine are not yet connected, because they are not connected. They're not on the same page. They're not on the same number. Wow. This reading is taking me places here, man. Where am I? Okay. This creates an internal atmosphere of distrust. Oh! It is an antagonistic internal atmosphere. I bet you if I started throwing tarot on top of this, I'd get a lot of 5s. Like 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords coming out here. Woo! The Siamese twins that we tend to bulldoze are the most are those that feel fear. And we cannot bulldoze our fear without creating more fear. And instead we need to take loving care of our fear. The masculine has to learn to Queen of Cups himself through this process. Oh, this is something else. This is something else. This is something else. Right? The 7 of Cups. The Seven of Roses, like in this deck, is the equivalent of Seven of Cups, starting out right, having lots of choice, hop onto any boat, any direction you want to go out on the sea is one way to interpret this, only to eventually find that all those options weren't even the damn option. Wasn't even the best thing for you to do. In this situation, you have to consider the part of yourself that's being bulldozed exists and is currently holding a very important personal truth, and that you need to look at it instead of ignoring or minimizing it. You have important feelings that need to be felt and needs that need to be met, but you're simply bulldozing forward with the idea that you shouldn't feel those things and shouldn't need those things. Drawing this card says that you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this scenario. And earlier I said that they're playing small to fit in, denying what they really truly need and want in order to accommodate and not have to do the work. And the truth is that this situation with the teacher is actually harmful to the masculine. This situation for the feminine has caused her to find her voice, to find her value, her self-worth, to love herself, to step up, step out, show up, to stop with the self-deception and to step into her feminine power and to deal with the heartbreak. Because these things have helped her to set boundaries, to reach peaks and heights that she never thought that she could, to have the courage to make her own plans. Mind, body, and soul spirited in the same direction, to connect with people that are like-minded and think and help to elevate her, not to trap her. And that is how the teacher has helped to teach the feminine, to give her own strength as she transforms her nakedness, her vulnerability into her superpower and her strength. And all the feminine wants to do, where is it? Is to show the masculine how he can do the same without cowering and sniveling and turning into this hedonistic thing that lives under a bridge. She don't look peaceful to you in her rest? This guy look peaceful at all? I heard jealousy when I looked at this. Jealous of how she's transforming and coping and dealing. She's okay in her nakedness. He is not. Wow. If you've drawn this card, you're bulldozing a part of yourself in this scenario, and that's why you feel like you are moving forward and doing things in spite of yourself. You would be wise to understand that you cannot do this and feel good or manifest anything good at the same time. In this situation, you need to make sure that you move forward on decisions only after you have achieved a state of alignment between your internal Siamese twins. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Deep, people. That was deep. What am I calling this? I got to write on the card. Bulldozing. Oh my God. That was serious. Okay, this side doesn't seem to want to work. Bulldozing. That's what the masculine is doing to himself internally, which is why he avoids situations, right? Because even if you look at this, just look at these two cards alone. This is the avoidance card. This is the bulldozing card. If you look at the lines, this is easy. It's easy to carve out a thin little line and keep on moving and to circumnavigate, and you know what I mean? You don't want to hit the hard angles here. You don't deal with this. So you just do, right? But this bulldozing is a tractor. That takes effort. It's going to dig deeper. It's going to be harder. Although they think it's easier to avoid and bulldoze themselves. Oh my. All right, 53 for the masculine. Let's see what that is. I don't know if I can take any more of this. All right, number 53 says identification. So let me write this down. Identification. Geez, this is about perspective. The way in which they see themselves, how they speak to themselves, how they show up in the world, how they want to be seen. I'm just, this is me talking right now. What is this? This belongs over here. There were 2 there. Just want to make sure. Yep. That makes total sense. Did I... Okay. We'll do that. Yeah, feminine only had 1. Wow. Let me just move this for a second. Yeah, 7 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Roses, the 6 of Keys. And then we started off with avoidance, number 18. Then we did bulldozing, number 5. And now we're on identification, which is number 53, okay? Woo! All right, it says, so you're currently identified with something you cannot separate yourself from, and that thing enough to be objective or conscious about it. Did you hear that? He identifies with this here, this mess. That's why he's in it. Identity is a condition of being oneself, so separate. Another word for this is ego. Whenever we associate something with ourself, we identify with it. I told you already with the numbers, the 53, right? Then the 54, 56 is because there is connection here. It becomes part of us, the same as us. This is what attachment really is. It is identification. And if the thing we identify with is threatened, we experience it as a threat to our own personal survival. And so that's a word for you feminines. When you hear, you ever say something about the divine masculine's teacher and they get really riled up and upset with you, it's because it's not because you're talking bad about this person. They don't really care about that. It's because they identify with them, and what they feel you might be saying about that person, you're actually saying about them. You're threatening their 4 of Wands, their stability. That's what they're taking issue with, the 4 of Wands. There we go. That's their problem. And they avoid the fact and they deflect, I'm sure, that when you try to talk to them about the situation, they make it about everything else but what's really going on. But the minute we identify with something that causes us to feel good, it contains the seeds of its own opposite. You understand? So now that things are falling apart here, because all along the masculine was identifying because it felt good to avoid, it felt good to be allowed to identify with them. It felt good to kind of ride on their coattails and get whatever they were getting, right? It felt good to be in, let's call it these strawberry fields forever. It felt good to be there. But now what's happening when this starts disintegrating, right? Now this is disintegrating. The relationship with the teacher is disintegrating. Oh my gosh. Now they're realizing, I'm duplicitous. Oh my gosh, I would do anything that I can to get what I want in spite of how it affects other people. Oh my goodness, I am in a 5 of Cups energy. You understand? So they are now, watch this now. Now, I talked about the mirror earlier, right? I talked about the mirror in my previous reading because I really feel that this is part 2 to that reading. Now this is the mirror. So the masculine has 2 mirrors. When the divine masculine is operating in his power and his strength and his electric vibration, the feminine is his counterpart. That is what he can relate to. But when he is in his shadow vibration, this teacher here is the one that he connects with. And that's how he identifies. You understand that? Come on. Woo! Worthiness carries the seeds of unworthiness. Excitement carries the seeds of disappointment. far more troubling is that we often identify with things that cause us to feel bad. And then we have to keep those things alive, oh gosh, in order to keep our own sense of self alive. And this is what it is. Do you understand me? He thought it was all gravy over here. Find out this gravy got bones and hair and all sorts of nasty shit in it. Now he's feeling bad that he associated with this. That's what's happening here. So, at the top of the reading, I said to you, the karmic wants to know, who is she and what is she to you? And then I said the who and the what of it all. Here is the answer. The masculine is coming to a very fast realization that I took the wrong blinking path. I was upset with the feminine for trying to talk to me, for wanting to help, for trying to show, for looking to connect, for wanting to be deeper, for giving me love, for loving me even when I felt unworthy. I didn't want the real. I wanted the temporary. I wanted the bling. I wanted this fast, easy ting over here. To find that the fast and easy has now become slow and excruciatingly painful. I want you to notice something. You see how many cards the masculine and his teacher have, and how few the feminine has here? There's a reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is 9, I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hermit. 11. Oh shit. Justice. Justice and Hanged Man, because this is a similar energy between the three. So we're just going to leave that out. 7. Chariot. Oh. Chariot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is Chariot. The feminine is moving forward, as we see in the ascent and the setting of your course. She's moving forward. She's moving up. She's moving away. The feminine has come to some certain realizations. This masculine is going to have to deal with justice. And he's being halted from any process until he comes to himself. This here, this 9 is the Hermit. These 9 cards, Hermit energy. I believe it was that the Emperor who started off in his power went within, actually ended up getting lost in their own power, lost in the wilderness of themselves. The teacher / karmic / Janine is lost in her own duplicity. Holy shit. Wow. This is the 3 of Swords, and I said to you that everyone here has a key. 3 swords, 3 keys. And within this heartache, within this pain, they're able to unlock the lesson that they need for themselves to take care of their wound, for wound care and self-love, and to move forward and to elevate, for them to all ascend. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? That's incredible. That is wild. I'm just gonna quickly skip this because I don't want to read everything here. Wow. Wow. It says here that this card will remind you to never do this separating from process again. It says, meaning don't separate from yourself. Don't allow for that internal dissension, but rather that you should allow the aspects of yourself that you want to disidentify from, expose them to the conscious awareness, which is what the feminine was attempting to bring to the masculine, but he rebuffed that. It says here to allow the parts of yourself, like rose petals, to fall away to the exposed sun. Because the more that you try and push against something and push away from something, is the more identified you become to it. So watch this. Holy shit. The masculine rebuffed the feminine. because he felt the work was too hard. He didn't want to do it. He took the easier path, only to find out the easy path was to his destruction and to dismay. To turn around and find out what he really needed was the feminine. And what he's going to start doing is shedding what he doesn't identify with, because the seeds that he first identified with within his teacher / karmic are now seeds of disidentification, disassociation, disappointment, disability, because in her allowing and making space for the masculine to avoid and bulldoze himself and become fragmented is the very thing that is now the source of his destruction. What does he need? He now needs the feminine energy to assist in rebuilding, rectifying, reconstituting who he is and who he's supposed to be. Because in his slothfulness, his slothfulness, his lust, he fell over here. And she took all that she could from it. But now she's lost in her own hermit vibes. Lord God, I tell you. Oh God. Oh my gosh. The masculine's going to disidentify from her. Wow. I'm not even done. I still have to do two. Oh my gosh. I was like, this reading is done now. It's not done. Okay, fine. It's not done. It is not done. Wow. Holy shit. We are not done. I'll tell you why. The teacher / karmic has number 54 and 56 as her cards. This is nuts. This is bananas. Hold on. Let me put this there. Let me put that like that. Oh, let me get a stone. There. 54 and 56. Number 54 is the positive. Okay, this is the teacher / karmic. These are the messages here. So remember, we did the reading. The reading started off with who is she and what is she to you, is what the karmic was asking the masculine. We then pulled the first set of cards to get an idea as to who they are. Okay. Then we pulled a second row with the Akashic record to understand the foundation as to why they're behaving the way that they are. As to where their current behaviors came from. And then we're working with a blind spot in the middle of the cards that look like this, that are showing how it's showing up right now in present day energy, how it's showing up presently. And for the feminine, she's been making some assumptions, and in the past they were wrong. They were misguided, but now her assumptions are right. Why? Because we've turned, I'm saying right now, assumptions into discernment, assumptions into intuition and awareness and wisdom. This is working wisdom. You understand me? Then the masculine has avoidance. He avoids issues. He goes where it's easy. That's how he ended up in this trap, because he didn't want to do the work. And now I promise you he regrets it. Life is topsy-turvy, and he's got a lot of work to do to get out of the mess. And then he's been bulldozing himself, and he's fractured within, similar to that of the karmic, the teacher. And then he got there because he was identifying with this energy, because she made space for him to be less than, for things to be easy. That was the trap. That was the lure. That was the lure. It's easy over here. The grass is green over here. Mind you, he found out that it's not easy, and the grass is crispy. Not just dry, it's crispy and it's burnt. Can't even lay down in the field nicely. Ha, 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 ha. Woo! Number 54. It says here, it's called the positive. What you do not see is that you are preventing yourself from the awareness of and experience of positive things. You've decided that if you allow yourself to become aware or express positive things, it will lead to negative things. This card has come to remind you that the opposite is true. It says here, many people draw this card when they are preventing themselves from feeling things like happiness and joy and hope and positive expectation or excitement. I already told you she's not getting her needs met or fulfilled. I said that already. It's true. It's easy to think that happiness is always a good thing, but the truth is the subconscious mind does not always agree. We already talked about the subconscious and the conscious. I'm going to say it again. If you have not watched my reading about the gift of triangulation, you need to read it. You need to watch it. For some of us, happiness is like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It hovers in the future like an unreachable goal that we dream of and we don't think we can reach. How did we end up this way? Because we suffered so much in our lives that happiness began to feel false. You see her wounded coming to the surface here? Clearing the way. She didn't give a shit what she had to do to get what she wanted. She got it. Thinking that this manner of behavior and this way of conducting things and obtaining things would make her happy to find it. In the end, it does not. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We start to feel as if happiness is vulnerability that leaves us open for attack at any moment. Also, many of us feel that there is always a give and take in life. If we are happy, we are convinced that it means that unhappiness is inevitably around the corner. Here are some important questions to ask yourself if you can't hold on to the happiness. Did it feel like the happiness of one or both of my parents conflicted with my happiness as a child? Did it feel like my happiness competed with their happiness? Did it feel that there was no way that both of us could be happy at the same time? Did it feel like either I was happy or my parent was unhappy, or my parent was happy and I was unhappy? When we feel as if our happiness conflicts with the happiness of our primary authority figures, as a child, we grow up to feel as if our happiness is at odds with the universe at large. I believe that this is a word for all parties, but specifically one of the things that connect the masculine to this teacher right here. This bringer of lessons. This bringer of all pain, no gain. This bringer of I can't get no satisfaction. That's what this is. So he vacated his happiness in order to give her happiness because he had the same childhood experience. You see how this is mingling here? This is a sick, sick, sick reading. And when I say sick, I mean good. This is good. This is good. You know what I love? I just hit me. I start off all quiet and whatever, but when we get into the reading and I'm present and I'm feeling it, oh my God. This is serious. Woo! We feel as if we are in a giant chess match where the universe is against our happiness and wants to punish us for our happiness. We feel as if in order for the universe or God to be happy, we must be unhappy. Therefore, it will make us unhappy at any cost, which is why they will clear the way at any cost. I mean, I care. They don't care. Understand? And they've learned to fear happiness. Like even the karmic has settled. Even the teacher has settled. They don't even want this situation, but hey, that's what it is. It works. Why am I going to change it now? They do what I say. They kind of honor me. The sex is mediocre. It's fine. Or it's really good. Whatever it is. We have a nice life. I'm comfortable. I've got someone in the house with me, a partner I could take trips with. We have some stuff. I'm not always happy. I think I want more. I want better. I want to feel more connected. I want more love, but I know they're not the person, but I don't want to go out and find the person because it's hard to find a person. You understand? That's where the she is. Oh. Ooh, it says here we think happiness is dangerous because they've been blindsided emotionally, mentally, and physically so much. Says here, wow, basically what's happening is for many people who cannot be happy is that the very feeling of joy and happiness itself becomes a trigger for post-traumatic stress response. And it's a problem now because you're fighting with your own survival instincts to be happy. Woo! The wires are crossed. And your own being is trying to keep you from feeling good so that you're not blindsided, that you're not caught off guard, that you don't experience more pain, that you're not hurt again, which is why Buddy was attracted to her. Oh my gosh. The biggest, it says here, the strongest instinct in the physical body is to drive to avoid pain for the sake of survival. And when we talk survival, we don't just mean living, we mean mental survival, your mental health, your emotional health. Wow, your spiritual health. And you did all these things, and you still became worse than what you were before. This is a lot. This is a lot. Because what happens here is that your mind starts working against you. And this is why the teacher has duplicity. She's working against herself. Initially, probably unknowingly, subconsciously, but now, oh, no. Now girlfriend feels it. She feels it. It's in anything she does, everything she touches. It says here that pain is a buffer that we use to keep ourselves safe. Oh my gosh, this is sad. This is sad. This is sad. This is sad. Ooh, this is sad. Ooh. It says here, for most beings on earth, joy is their baseline and they experience temporary bouts of unhappiness and pain. But for some of us, especially those of us who find our way to self-help and spirituality, the tables are often turned, which is true. That's why I'm here, right? Suffering, meaning that there's been some suffering. You just really got to look at it. You got to stop it. It says here, suffering is our baseline. We experience temporary bouts of happiness and pleasure. When this is the case, happiness feels like fleeting, temporary illusion. It begins not to feel real. Whereas unhappiness is more permanent. It's like an inevitable truth of life. It says here, ask 2 very important questions. So this is your homework, people. Get your pen and paper. What is my positive intention for being unhappy or suffering? And what bad things would happen if I were always happy and full of joy? Those are your 2 questions. If you have to pause and rewind to catch those questions, do so. It says here that this card is reminding you that you're not letting yourself see, feel, hear, understand, or experience the positive. And it has come to remind you that you deserve to feel good and you deserve happiness and you deserve to express yourself to your truest form, especially those amazing positive parts of you and about you, and that you deserve to feel safe when you're happy. So both of these people in a way have felt, I would even go so far as to say all 3 have felt that being happy is unsafe because at any point in time, someone could pull the rug from under you. This is excellent. Okay, so I gotta write on there the positive. Where are we right now? Holy shit, an hour 9. Plus the other reading. We're gonna call this the positive. Okay. Oh, we're almost done, folks. Almost done. Okay, now we're on to card 56. So what is 56? Oh. No way. The comfort zone. Holy shit. I mean, we've essentially touched on this. The divine masculine was not comfortable with the divine feminine because she probably had requirements and was truly reflecting and showing him things that he actually needed to do and work on. He didn't like the discomfort. He decided he wanted to be comfortable. The teacher wanted to make space for him to be comfortable. And in that comfortableness, he was able to avoid, bulldoze, and self-identify with someone who was duplicitous and was ignoring the positive and was afraid of being happy. And if he was identifying with that, then that says that he's duplicitous as well and fragmented and is afraid to be happy and also that happiness, I believe, resided with being in connection, true communication with the feminine, but they avoided it because there was initial work in the beginning, only to find out there's going to be a hell of a lot of work in the end. Now that they've identified, now they're disassociating with their teacher karmic. Okay, let's go. Look at this. It says here, if you've drawn this card, you're doing, what? That so much of what you're doing is about your aversion to the unfamiliar. And so watch this now. He avoided the feminine because he wasn't accustomed to this. This was unfamiliar territory. And he got here because he felt it was familiar. But now that the karmic teacher is changing, this scenario is becoming unfamiliar. He cannot identify with it. But she's allowed this to go on because it was comfortable for her. Oh boy. It says, an aversion to the familiar is a way to ensure that you will never line up with what you truly desire and truly need. Come on, right there. It says it right there. And so this feels fear-based. The only person, in a way, I want to say, who has the guts to go forward and do what they need to right now is the feminine. And so what's happening is the masculine is because he wanted to be in the comfort zone too. Because the feminine later on was not the comfort zone for him to allow all this lawlessness and foolishness. But it was allowed and permitted over here. And that's how they trap you. And it's that same lawlessness, foolishness that is permitted, that allows you to bulldoze yourself and to stay fragmented and to have addictions and to self-medicate, right? And to identify something with something that is less than you. But this less than is actually reflecting where the masculine was at the time. Wow. 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 Things that are familiar feel safe to us. They feel known and predictable and controllable. But it leads to a life of limitation. A life of limitation. Holy shit. Wow. And doing that honestly, it becomes problematic. It is problematic. It is. Afraid to venture into the unknown. See, there's one thing for you to do something of your own volition, and it's another thing when life, God forces you that you got to move now. Because you've been given all this time. Look, he had the journey. She had temperance. You understand what I'm saying? That's time. Even the ascent is time. You had time to work all this out. You're taking too damn long. Because there's divine timing at play here. Divine timing at play. And remember, we talked about assumptions, right? Specifically with regards to the feminine, but all three of them are carrying these assumptions. I would go so far as to say all these blind spot cards with all this configuration on it, each party holds some of this to a certain degree, right? It's not that only one party, one person has it. They each have it to varying degrees. That's wild. This, I did not expect. Again, I tell you, I don't come on saying, oh, I'm going to do a live reading today. No. When I sit down at this table, I have no idea what's going to happen. I get my inspiration once I'm sitting down. If I don't have the right decks here, I'm always like, hold on, gotta go get a deck because I'm being told that this is what we need. And that's how it goes. And this comfort zone is about projected fear as well. And then what's happening here by wanting to stay in your comfort zone is that you become a comfort prisoner. Remember there's a song by Vanessa Williams. Okay, Google, play Vanessa Williams' Comfort Zone. Well, was it Comfort Zone? Was it by her?
Okay, The Comfort Zone by Vanessa
Oh, I'm right. Look at that.
playing on YouTube Music.
Welcome to the comfort zone. It says here that you're fully aware, you're aware of what you're avoiding. Sorry, I've got a call coming through. I'm not going to take it. You're aware of, what's it saying? You're probably well aware of what you're avoiding, just not fully why. Therefore, once you know the steps you're being called to take that is outside of your comfort zone, it'll feel like you're stretching right now, but you need to take it. Welcome to the comfort zone. You have to be willing to experience the discomfort for your own expansion. That goes for everybody. And right now, the feminine is leading the charge on that. She's leading the charge. That is wild. And you don't want to experience failure and embarrassment and not doing as well as you thought you would, or having to be forced to see yourself in a different light in case you don't attain and achieve what it is that you want to achieve here. Wow. 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 This is also about getting out of your own way and to be willing to see the truth. Right? Wow. This. Woo! Comfort zone. That is incredible. That's incredible. I just heard a little bit of the song, Welcome to the Comfort Zone, where you need to be loved. I mean, the karmic teacher needs her own right person. She's going to be going through that evolution. And I think the divine masculine is working his way back to his senses, right? He's going back to where he should be, needs to be. I don't even know, honestly. I don't even know what card, if anything, I need to pull to close this reading, because I don't like to leave them open. I like to kind of, bring things home. What would be an appropriate card? What is this? Divine Abundance? Not that card. Not that deck. I know. I just got this deck too. This one here is postcards from Spirit. And I think that is definitely called for right now. Okay. All right. Welcome to the comfort zone. All right. God, this was one heck of a message, one heck of a revelation. I thank you for it. It was lovely. It was timely. It was full-bodied. It was revealing. It was uplifting. It was soul-searching, soul-rocking, causing us to look at the way in which we conduct ourselves as we move through life. I thank you for this. I thank you for speaking through me, for using me, for guiding me to the specific decks to relay the message that you have in mind. This is just the bomb. This is the bomb. This is the bomb. Give me 1 second, people. Is this finished? What time is it? 1:41. So I set this as a premiere. Let me just do this and give it something to save. Okay, so there come up the cards. What if I pick that? No, I'm not gonna pick that. You know, the thing is, I don't always want to make a thumbnail, but I do understand that thumbnails kind of make people gravitate to your video. But I don't have a lot of time because I need to wrap this because I have the premiere set for 2 o'clock. Anyway, this was something else. So what is a closing message? If you can just give a closing message for the viewer, and for those of you who stay to the end, I just so appreciate you riding with me, listening to me, supporting, helping, uplifting. I believe in all my spirit that these messages are helpful to you, that there's something in here for you, something that clicks on a light bulb, something that helps you remember something, something that edifies you, lifts you up, supports you, lets you know that you're not alone. Thank you so much. I don't know, pink. I'm saying pink in my head. I don't know why. I don't want 2. Is this 2? If it's 2, I'm putting it back. It's 2. But I said pink. Uh-oh. What does it say? Was it? Oh, genuine loving fan club. I'm just curious, what was this? Love you so much. Okay. We'll see if there's time. So this says, Dear you, on Earth, humans learn about life by telling stories and creating new ones based on shared experiences. Eventually, after repeating one enough, it becomes your main story that you use it to define yourself and the world. So to get the answers you seek, you must get vulnerable and hear your story when you tell it. Ask, why do you tell it? Is it really true? What else can be true? Wow. Can you see the truth that spirit is in all things? Do you see how other stories overlap and intertwine? This was just that. My mind is being blown right now. Spirit loves stories, for they're like blueprints for co-creation. Because y'all have co-created this, eh? And when I say y'all, I don't mean in a blaming way. I've done it as well. Wow, spirit loves stories, for they are like blueprints to co-creation. So tell the one we know to be true about you a story of, courage, gratitude, and honesty. Tell an empowered story about well-being, wisdom, and grace. You will experience your world according to the story you tell about it. So make sure they're stories you're proud of. You hear what I'm saying? So the reason why the karmic teacher has experienced duplicity, the positive and comfort zone, is because this is what she has been regurgitating and telling herself. And therefore she creates an environment of that. The reason why the feminine has certain assumptions is because she's been assuming. And so sometimes she brings her assumptions to life. The reason why the masculine has had avoidance, bulldozing, and identification is because that is what he has been doing. That's what he's been practicing and involved in. This postcard couldn't be more perfect. It could not be more perfect. Now watch this. I was only going to read one, and I said the word pink because I felt that the card was going to be pink, and it was. Now this card has a bit of pink, but this is not the card I was thinking of. Nonetheless, 2 cards came out. This is the second card, and it needs to be read. So dear you, do you feel like you need to do all the work and fix everything for everyone, or you might have no value? Maybe you think you need to control everything, or else nothing will get done, be healed, or be completed. You may think you need to conform to... Okay, so watch this. Watch how so far this postcard addresses each person in this thing here. So here it is. You got to fix, you got to do the work for everyone, or you might have no value. So this is the karmic teacher showing up, right? And then maybe you think you need to control everything, or nothing else will get done or be healed or completed. I feel like that's the feminine. And then it says, well, maybe you think you need to conform to what others expect of you, or you choose a course of action to manipulate an outcome. But we don't think that would be a good choice. That would be the masculine. Do you see what just happened here? Look, you better be dialing into this channel on the regular. Know that. How about this? Even if it makes you temporarily uncomfortable, we just talked about the comfort zone. Do something different. Set that boundary. So I feel the feminine has set the boundary. The doing the different is going to be the masculine and the karmic teacher. Delegate responsibility to another. And I feel that that's what the feminine has done. She's setting her sails. She's ascending. She is doing for herself. The others will follow suit. They will. Ask for your needs to be met. And that was the other thing we talked about. Oh, geez, yo! And when faced with an impossible situation or sticky and mesh relationship, repeat this mantra. I didn't cause it. I can't control it. And it's not my job to cure it. Then carry on. Feels good, doesn't it? The best part is everything just seems to work beautifully and honestly in the end. So I feel that this, they've had a hand in it, right? But they can't fix everything. The only thing they can do is start where they are, which is with themselves. Start at the beginning. Love you so, so much. Listen, people. This was fab. Friggin' fab. Fabadocious. Please look at my other videos. If you do me a favor, I want you to look at the videos that have the lowest views, because those are some of my most potent messages, right? My most potent messages are in the ones with the lowest views. So if you would do me the honor of viewing those, looking at it, just see the view count and go to that one. That's a beautiful way to exchange energy, to help uplift the channel, to give me encouragement, for me to see my numbers increasing at these numbers. Because I honestly put my heart and soul into these readings. And I prepare and I open and I make myself a channel for you to get what you need so that you can go where you got to go. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you flourish. This has just been a joy to do this reading. Be blessed. Stay blessed. Thank you so much. And I'm about to put up a reading for you right now. So take care. Bye.